me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god.
Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect.
Good evening, Titan Nation. How is everybody doing? What's up, everybody? This is your man, Blue Enforcer, a.k.a. The Truth. Welcome into TNT postgame. And it was a rough one, y'all. It was definitely a rough one. But we definitely going to talk about it. Make sure y'all do share this show out. Share it out, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter X. I'm actually working on, I'm going to share it out on Twitter. Actually share it out on Instagram right now. I'm actually doing that. So do me a favor, help me out with that and everything. And definitely go ahead and share this show out. Let everybody know what's going on. We're going to talk a little bit about this game, as disappointing as it is. And we're definitely going to get into that in just a moment. So definitely go ahead, share this show out, let everybody know what's going on. And as you can see, I'm going to show you the graphic. You got Caleb Williams on one side, and then you got Will Levis on his knees after he throws that catastrophic interception that basically destroyed the Titans' chances of winning. And we're going to get into all of that in just a moment. And, it was a bad day. And we're going to get into all of that and more. But again, definitely make sure you share this show out, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter X. Also, everybody, as you come in, make sure you smash that like button. Go ahead and smash that like button for me. And if you haven't subscribed to the show, go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well. And definitely go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well. And of course, I'm going to make sure I do a better job of putting things up on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, and Google Podcasts as well. So definitely go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to tease. I will be starting the Truth League report next week. I was kind of distraught over the game, and I didn't really get to really pay attention to other games that were happening around the league. So I apologize for that. But I am going to be better, and I'm going to be ready to go. I'm going to be ready to go next week. So we're definitely going to do that. We're going to talk about guys who looked good and guys who didn't. And definitely going to give some news around the NFL. Of course, Dak Prescott signing his new deal right before the game started. And so, I'm sorry about that, child. But everything that was going pretty decent in the first half, but then the second half, I think the word that a lot of people have used, and I think I might as well join the club as well, is implosion. That is exactly what happened. The Titans, particularly a certain quarterback, imploded on himself. He crapped on himself badly. And we're going to talk about that. And so I want to start, and we have this thing called the good, the bad, and the awful. And let's start with the good. Let us start with the good. The defense. The defense in no way gets any blame for what happened yesterday. The defense deserved to win this game. The defense played their absolute asses off in that game. They held the Chicago Bears totally to 148 yards of offense. 148 yards of offense for the whole game. And caused a turnover. Well, that was special team. That was a fumble, rather. But the Titan defense did absolutely everything they could in that game. You could not ask the defense to do more than what they did. I mean, look at this. They held the so-called superstar quarterback to 92 yards passing. 14 of 29, 93 yards. Sacked him a couple of times. A QBR of 22.2 for Caleb Williams. 22.2. His quarterback rating was 55.7. Held DeAndre Swift 10 carries, 30 yards. DJ Moore had 5 catches, just 36 yards. Keenan Allen had 4 for 29. But they didn't do anything. I mean, Landry got his first sack. I mean, Keandre Colburn and Sebastian Joseph-Day on that other sack was huge. I think defensively, there was a lot of things that did go well. And again, they deserved to win this football game. Denard Wilson called a hell of a game. And I'm with D09. This defense has a chance to be elite. This defense is going to be good. If the first game is of any indication, I'm going to have fun watching this defense play. I'm going to have a lot of fun. The defense is going to keep us in a lot of games. And maybe even the defense will win us a game or two. And I believe Big Jeff may have said it or someone else said it. We just got to cause more turnovers. We got to get some picks. And there were a couple of opportunities there. There were a couple of opportunities for some picks. And they just didn't capitalize on it. One, I think, the ball bounced right off of Quandre Diggs' helmet or off of his chest that should have been picked off. And then I think another, Ernest Jones comes in, bats the ball in the air. If somebody was just maybe a step or two early, that should have been a pick as well. But you couldn't ask no more from the defense. The defense, I mean, was tremendous. They didn't score an offensive touchdown in that game. The defense did absolutely everything right. Music City Mayhem, Nashville Nasty was exactly that. Titan Overdrive said, "What's up, Stevie? Tighten up." And CJ, I got your post earlier. One thing I'm happy about is that tough ass D. I agree, and that is true. The Tennessee Titans, as of right now, are ranked the number 1 defense in the NFL. Right now. If they can play consistently like that, I said before my predictions, that I think they're going to finish in the top 10. And I think they even have a chance to finish in the top 5, judging by yesterday's performance. D09 says, so far you're winning that bet on J.C. Latham. I got to go back and actually remember where I made a bet, but I know I was not high on J.C. Latham. I was not high on J.C. Latham. And J.C. Latham, I'm not going to say he had a horrible game, but he wasn't great. He wasn't great. The entire offensive line wasn't great. I mean, I've seen worse from the offensive line in the past. So I'm going to be like, I'll give him maybe a C minus. It wasn't the worst that I've seen from this offensive line. So in years past, we've seen a whole lot worse. CJ says the defense is quite literally perfect. I mean, they played as close to perfection as they possibly could. They really couldn't do no more than that. And so the Titan True comes up. The true test will come against a veteran quarterback. Williams was not a true indicator. Now, that is true. And they're going to face, and it doesn't get any easier. They're going to face a veteran quarterback next Sunday at home against Aaron Rodgers. We're really going to find out. Now, if they do well against Aaron Rodgers, we might be truly on to something. We might be on to something special with this defense. And I think a lot of people agree. Yeah, that was not the worst offensive line. Were there some bad moments? Yes. But that wasn't the worst. But the good is the defense. The Titan defense, pretty damn good for a first test against everybody's darling quarterback. Very good first test. But Aaron Rodgers, yeah, that's going to be a very good test for this defense. We're really going to find out. If they do well against Aaron Rodgers, oh, yeah, it's going to do nothing but go up. So I'm very excited to see this defense against Aaron Rodgers next week. Very excited about that. I'm really going to be focused on that. But let's go into the bad. Oh, by the way, another good, Tony Pollard. Very, very solid performance. Tony Pollard, very solid performance. The bad. I'm going to say Brian Callahan. Brian Callahan did not do a great coaching job, especially on the offense in his first game. And I'm willing to give him a pass because it is his first game calling plays. His first time truly calling plays. And his first time being an NFL head coach. So I'm willing to give him a pass on that, but not too much. Because there's a lot of things that could have happened differently. Early on in the first half, when Will Levis was struggling, that is Brian Callahan's job to wheel him in. And I think I saw something before. Somebody said Will Levis's hyper competitiveness could be to his detriment. That is both a gift and a curse. I love the fact that Will Levis is competitive, but sometimes if you're too competitive, you're trying to always make the big play, you're going to hurt the team more than help. And that's what Brian Callahan has to reel him in. He has to reel him in. He has to reel this team in offensively. Did not like the fact that they didn't take more shots. They did a lot of running on first down. And I believe it was two-tone talk. He was sitting in his car, and I give him credit. The offense looked a whole lot like Vrabel offense. Like I tweeted, the ghost of Vrabel was still lingering around this franchise. We need that gotten rid of. So that was bad, is Brian Callahan. He did not call the best game offensively. I mean, we should have did some more passing on first down. I mean, some simpler passes, some good slants. Something that gets Levis comfortable, get the ball out quickly, and yet get the ball in Ridley's hands early. And they didn't use DeAndre Hopkins much, but I understand why. And if you're going to help Traylon Burks, give him some simple things. Forget the end arounds and all of that. Let Burks go run some routes, some slants, some curls, maybe a deep go nine, something like that. At least get him in a flow so that we can at least see what we got with this young man. So, some of the bad is Callahan. Special teams was bad too. Again, I know Cole Anderson is the new special team coordinator, but there were some moments. The block punt definitely turned this game upside down on its head. Gave up a return late in the first half that led to a field goal. You're up 17-0. There was a few returns there that shouldn't have been given up, especially, I want to say that was on kickoff. Punt return coverage wasn't terrible, but there was one early on that almost could have broke, but it led to a punt. So, special teams needs to get better and get their stuff together. But now to the god awful. And I think y'all know where I'm going with this. And it is simply put the person that I blame the most. Will Levis. Will Levis completely imploded on himself. This game was Will Levis's fault. Now, I said I would have put 1,000% blame on Will Levis. But if I really unwrap the game and really think about it, because I did go back, I went back and rewatched the game earlier today. I went back and rewatched and really paid attention. Again, the offensive line wasn't great, but I've seen a lot worse. Yes, J.C. Latham did give up the sack on the strip sack, and that was bad. And again, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's a rookie. That was his first game. And I will give credit to the Bears. That Bears defensive line is very good. But again, it wasn't so much that the Bears won the game. The Titans lost this game, and it was mainly because of Will Levis. Will Levis single-handedly cost us this game. And CJ is right. I don't want this offense to hold down the defense and lose confidence. And that's going to be a good question. CJ2K they were like, I'm done with Levis. I know there's a lot of people that are basically saying they're done with Levis. Even Jared has said, I'm done with Levis. He's out on Levis. And so I'm not going to necessarily say I'm out on Levis, but I'm pretty down on him. Because this was the game. Well, we got a Saints fan in here. Congrats on y'all blowout victory. Carolina stinks. Carolina stinks badly. Will Levis, was terrible. The whole game. 19 of 32, 127 yards, a touchdown through 2 picks. That last pick, you had to do something on fourth down. But the pick before is the one that everybody is talking about. There was one time where he took a sack where he needed to just get rid of the ball. Just throw it as far out of bounds as you could possibly throw it. But there were a couple of times where he was going down, he was just flinging it, trying to get rid of it. And that first interception was the backbreaker. That basically ended all hope of the Titans winning this game. And he looked uncomfortable. He looked tight. He missed Ridley quite a few times. D09 says week to week Will Levis. I agree. And Titan Overdrive says, how long would you give Levis to turn this around? And that's a very good question when it comes to that. Because again, Will Levis kept trying to make the big play and he couldn't. And he just seemed uncomfortable. He seemed off. I don't know if it's nerves with the new offense, nerves with the new weapons. But again, he missed Calvin Ridley quite a few times. One of them he underthrew Ridley and nearly got it picked off. If he throws it a little bit better, maybe towards the middle of the end zone, Ridley's catching that, and that's a touchdown. The other one before the block punt, he overthrows it. If he just takes a little bit off of it as Ridley is streaking down the sideline, that's a touchdown. Ridley should have 2 touchdown catches in this game. 2. I mean, he threw a nice one to Chig. Chig made a nice catch, though. That was a nice catch by Chig. But my goodness, Will Levis looked horrible. And that was a absolutely unmitigated disaster of a performance. And we're all trying to wonder, is this a guy that you're ready to invest well over $50 million into? And well, thanks to Dak Prescott, he is the highest paid quarterback in the league at $60 million. So that means most likely you're going to have to pay a quarterback over $60 million a year to be your franchise quarterback. And that is what we're trying to find out. And right now, Will Levis is not off to a good start at all. And and Ms. Mims, I know you tried to call me, and I apologize. I did not get a chance to answer you. I know Ms. Mims had a horrible weekend. Ms. Mims had a horrible weekend. Wolverines lost, which I was very disappointed in. I had money on Michigan, and they failed us. Alabama was in a dogfight with South Florida for a while. Which, if I'm the Memphis Tigers, I better be ready for South Florida. And then what happened yesterday? I know Ms. Mims had a horrible weekend. And so, you know, Philip said it seemed like Brian leaned heavily on the advice of his father, Bill, how to coach a game from an old school perspective. He's a coach from a checklist instead of the flow of the game. Now, I would have said it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea to lean on Bill Callahan because, I mean, he's been a coach before. He's been a head coach before. So that's not a bad idea to lean on him. However, Brian Callahan needs to coach his way. Be aggressive. Take a few shots. Don't be afraid because it looked like we tried to play not to lose instead of to win. T85 says, if Levis keeps struggling, might well call up Tannehill again. I mean, if Levis keeps struggling, the Mason Rudolph chants are going to start coming out. And Stevie says, one really big mistake on Will. This is adversity. How does he handle it? And that is an excellent question. That is an excellent question because you're facing adversity early. How do you handle this? Because If you don't handle it well next week, you play like this next week, and we're 0-2, people going to start burning the Levis jerseys. I'm done with that Mayo. Yeah, a lot of people are not going to like Mayo so much anymore. So, right now, Will Levis better clean up his mess and get his crap together. Titan True said, I got to hear all these Cowboy fans talking smack. I mean, we live in Memphis. I live in Memphis. That's exactly what it is. Tulane lost because of a flag. And that's going to be a good game. Memphis and Tulane at the end of the year. Hopefully, Memphis has a chance to go undefeated and make the playoff. But next Saturday, Florida State Saturday morning, I'm going to be, before I go down and tailgate for the Southern Heritage Classic, I'm going to be tuning in Florida State, Memphis. And I'm ready for an upset. Is this a rebuild year or do we have a realistic chance? We're trying to find that out. I mean, they put people together to make it seem like they're going to make a run for it. But I honestly thought it was more of a rebuild year. I didn't really come in with expectations. Average Saints fan says New Orleans going to smoke Dallas. We going to see. And D09 is responding to Derek, said, yeah, we have a lot of talent, but if the quarterback ain't playing well, I mean, that is a good point. World Street, Malik may start in Green Bay. Yeah, with Jordan Love going down. Week 3, it is going to be Will Levis versus Malik Willis. And if Malik Willis beats you, ooh-wee, I know it's going to get bad real fast. It's going to get very bad. We just gave it away. We did. We absolutely did. And so, again, Will Levis imploded on himself and cost us this game. The offense failed the defense in a major way. They really, really did. Because, again, the defense deserved to win this game. And the offense, particularly Will Levis, let them down. And Brian Callahan is partially responsible for this as well. So the Tennessee Titans fall 24-17. And I agree, Parker, I've heard that too. The Packers have reached out to Ryan Tannehill. They have. But Ryan's waiting on the right situation where he can start for a long period of time. He ain't trying to start and then go back to the bench when Jordan Love gets back. But I'm with Derek Roberts and Parker Davis. That's exactly what it felt like. It felt like the same old Titans. It felt like the ghost of Mike Vrabel was still in existence. I'm like, where's this dynamic offense that I was supposed to be watching? Where we supposed to pass heavy? We ran the ball more than passed. I mean, we acted like we were afraid to pass the ball. For example, Levis threw the ball 32 times. Pollard had 16 carries. We passed the ball 32 times. We ran the ball 26 times. So we did slightly pass the ball more than ran, but it wasn't too far apart, although we did have 140 yards on the ground. And Tony Pollard had a very good game. But I wanted to see some more dynamics, and it wasn't there. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how the Titans fare going into this game against Green Bay. I'm going to try to catch some of this Monday night game. I'm going to try to record the game with the Packers and the 49ers, and I'm going to go watch the game probably later this week. Before the show, so that I can get a good scouting on the Jets. But Will Levis better clean this mess up. Will Levis better figure it out and get out of his own ass and get out of his own head. Forget the mayo, forget the commercials, forget the girlfriend. Focus on winning and being a better quarterback. Because if you don't do that, you ain't going to have a job much longer. Get your crap together, Will Levis. Get out of your ass and get out there, get in the film room, figure out how to get the ball to Calvin Ridley right, figure out how to get DeAndre Hopkins the ball, and you better start winning us some games. Win us games. That is your job. Get it together, Will Levis. Get it together. And on that note, I think it's time to call it a wrap. And that is a 17-point lead ain't safe. And it should have been. And Philip says, I get trash talking, but I heard too much unnecessary bashing of other young quarterbacks from Titan content creators without knowing 100% what Levis is. This could be a little karma. Now, I will say I have not bashed other young quarterbacks because I just don't know yet. CJ Stroud, I mean, he's shown something. Bryce Young, I think he'd be better if he was on another team. Anthony Richardson, I have my doubts. But I can't really say anything because Will Levis sucks right now. Sucks badly. So, again, Titans fall 24-17. We're 0-1. We still have a chance. But if we're 1-3 or 0-4, Will Levis might have to get pulled for Mason Rudolph at some point. And you might have your answer. And that is, Will Levis ain't it. So Will Levis better figure it out because the NFL stands for one thing, not for long. And Derek Robert like, Malik versus Levis, we're going to find out if we made the right choice. That's a very good question. Losing the rookie quarterback, it kind of continues. I mean, Caleb Williams is the first quarterback in over 20 years as the number one pick to win his debut. And, of course, it had to be against us. So, we're about to find out. If we're not at least 2-2 at the end of these first 4 weeks, Levis might be on his way out. And that's that on that. But everybody, we're going to end the show right here. I had to give my reaction to that. I had to kind of sleep on it and get it off my chest. But this Wednesday, we're going to be getting ready for the Jets. We're going to put this behind us. We will do stock up, stock down. And then we're going to go completely into the Jets. And also get your star of the week and dunce of the day, which I think we all know where we should go with that. I think that's a pretty easy way to go, especially with dunce of the day. But star of the week, at least on one side of the ball, I think could be a little bit difficult. So they better get it together. But everybody, thank y'all for tuning in to TNT Post Game. I'm your man, Blue Enforcer, a.k.a. The Truth. And we're going to really find out what this team is all about and what Will Levis is all about. Because he better get his act together. Because if he doesn't, he's going to be done. There's just too early to lose faith to Levis. He'll bounce back from this. I don't know. That's what we're gonna find out. That's what we're about to find out. But thank y'all for tuning in, and y'all tighten up, because that's all we know how to do. Later, y'all.